Welcome, everyone. And on the behalf of FrontierView, thank you so much for joining our webinar series today. On today's webcast, we'll be diving into staying ahead of the disruption to India's economic recovery. Over the course of the next 60 minutes, we'll be taking a deep dive into the factors driving India's economic trajectory in 2021. And this topic has gotten significantly complicated over the past month with the rising cases. So we will be highlighting some risks for companies to watch out for, as well as areas of business opportunities. So just a very quick introduction of myself. My name is Yuchen Han, and I'm a Senior Client Services Associate at FrontierView. So I'm really excited to be moderating this very timely discussion with you today. So I'm delighted to be joined by Kinnari Gunani. She is FrontierView's analyst for South Asia and Australia. Kinnari and I would like to take this to be a very interactive discussion. So please be sure to click on the Q&A box on the right-hand side of your screen and send your questions to FrontierView's webinar, and we will work to get as many questions included in the discussion as possible. Also, just as a very quick reminder, if you are a client with us, you can access all of our APAC market intelligence research and data on your FrontierView desktop and mobile applications simply by logging on. If you are not a client, for registered attendees of this webinar, we are offering complimentary trial access to FrontierView. So to take advantage of this offer, please request a trial on the comment box or visit our website on www.frontierview.com and click the request for trial button. Before we get started, we realize that some of you may be new to FrontierView, so I would like to just take a minute to provide you a very quick overview of our firm and how do we support multinational executives. So FrontierView is a premium global market intelligence and advisory firm. Our primary focus is to serve the market intelligence needs of global business professionals and multinational corporations by informing and empowering their market monitoring, strategic planning, and international growth priorities. Now, from the very beginning, we built FrontierView to be different in three primary ways. First, our product and services model has been built to serve a global business audience. In every aspect of our work, we strive to separate signal from the noise and answer the so what, now what question that are unique to international business professionals. The second differentiator is our model, which we call a strategic intelligence as a service. So FrontierView is the only market intelligence solutions that bundles together information resources, analyst advisory access, and a senior executive network into one affordable subscription. And finally, we are especially proud of our world-class technology, which powers the FrontierView desktop and mobile application and has been built with sole purpose of informing our clients' workflow and decision-making processes. Now, we are also incredibly proud of our client base, which today includes a community of over 4,000 across 240 companies, and is still growing. And you can see some of them here. Again, if you are not a client and are interested in receiving the trial access to our FrontierView program, please visit our website and click the request trial button. Now, having very briefly introduced about our company, I would like to take a moment to just introduce our presenter today. So on the line today for today's webinar, we have our analyst for South Asia and Australia, Kinnari Gunani. Kinnari supports senior executives on key initiatives, including strategic planning, resource allocation, and risk management for their South Asia and Australia portfolio. So now over to you, Kinnari.
Thanks so much, Yuchen. So our webinar today will consist of a 50-minute presentation followed by some Q&A. Now, to be specific, I will begin the session with a discussion on this big driver for India's economy, which is really the pandemic. Unfortunately, it continues to remain a huge problem and a big question mark for the economy as a whole. We'll then look at what's changed in our outlook for the economy as a result of the second wave that the country is currently experiencing, and what some of those industry-focused trends would look like, and how those are likely to play out for companies that may be focused on the B2C, B2B, as well as B2G sectors. Aside from some of these sector-specific trends, we'll also look at some of the broader government-oriented regulations that will end up impacting companies across the board. Finally, we'll round out the session with some Q&A, as well as take you through some of the key actions that our audiences can then take in terms of actionable insights. So with that, let's dive in. The first and really the most important driver for any economy over the past year or so has really been the behavior of the COVID-19 pandemic. Now, until just last month, several market watchers, such as myself, and I'm sure several of our audience members as well, had made the somewhat reasonable assumption that the likelihood of a second wave of COVID-19 was quite low. Unfortunately, we are now squarely in the midst of a massive second wave of outbreaks, with the daily new cases actually surpassing the September 2020 peak. Yesterday, the daily new cases surpassed 100,000. Now, in response to some of these massive spikes in the COVID-19 outbreak, certain state governments have been swift to clamp down on some kind of activity, with the state of Maharashtra imposing the most strict or severe of these restrictions, as it has been the state that has seen the largest impact from the second wave of outbreaks. Now, there are various other major states that have also imposed their own restrictions. Companies should note that the main activity to get clamped down on so far has been any kind of these out-of-home entertainment services, such as bars, restaurants, as well as cinemas. However, as we see cases tick up as we speak, there is also this increased and looming risk of even stricter lockdowns being clamped down across at state levels, the likes of which we had actually seen back in May of last year, which did cause certain severe supply chain bottlenecks as well, supply chain kind of disruptions and bottlenecks for companies that manufacture or produce within India. While this is not yet the case, we just want to highlight this as a potential risk that may be coming as the situation moves very, very quickly.